Good morning, students. I hope you all are fit and fine. In the previous class, we studied the chapter of physics that was sound. Yeah? And I hope you all are clear with the topic and you have gone through the video well, and also you have gone through the textbooks. Today, with a fresh new start, we will start the next chapter, that is from biology. Okay, and the name of the chapter will be chapter 10, reaching the age of adolescence. Okay, and you know that when we are small kids, or when we see the small kids, and when we see ourselves, there are many drastic changes taking place from being a child to being an adult, and then from adult to being an old. So this chapter is a very important chapter, and also it is a easy chapter too. Why? Because in this chapter we are going to study the things that already you are facing. Yeah, this chapter is the complete picture of what is going on in your own lives, okay, of we humans. So this chapter is an easy one and also a kind of interesting one, because the things which we already know, okay, the things which we already know is more interesting to us. Okay, means we know something and we want to know much more, then obviously the topic becomes interesting. The same is this one. Okay, so in this chapter we are going to cover first stages of life, second adolescence, then third puberty and the changes that follow it, then about the secondary sexual characters, then role of hormones, then reproductive phase in humans, then the determination of sex, then hormones and reproductive health. These are the points to be covered in this chapter. Now let's move forward. So as we know, there are 5 stages of life. Yeah? When a child is born, okay, as soon as the child is born, he undergoes infancy age, okay, infancy phase of life from 0 to 2 years. Okay, in this stage what happens? A baby is a small baby, he cannot walk, he cannot talk, okay, he is completely dependent upon the elders. Then comes the childhood age. During the childhood age, the child undergoes the years of 3 to 12 years, and in this 3 to 12 years, child is growing physically. Okay, the child grows physically and also start growing mentally. Yeah, a kind of physical and mental growth starts during childhood. Yeah, then adolescence. The most important phase of life is adolescence. This is the age which defines the person, which makes a person ready for the future, ready for becoming an adult and everything, because it is the turning point. Okay, adolescence is the turning point of a human being's life. Yeah, it is from age 13 to 19 years. Okay, age 13 to 19 years. Clear? और इस 13 से 19 years की जो एज, here the person becomes a bit of very much, you can say, moody. Okay, a person becomes very moody, or this is the phase of life where the person feels separated from family, separated from friends. He just forms a different circle of life. The viewing of life changes. Yeah, so this is the turning point of a human's life. Then comes the adulthood. After facing the adolescence age, Then comes the adulthood, which is 20 to 40 years. This is a period of a kind of responsibility, because this is the age when a child has grown to an adult, he is completely grown mentally and physically, completely grown. Yeah. Now no height will increase, no, nothing will increase. The mental growth is done and the physical growth is also done, and here the person becomes a responsible adult. Clear? Then after 40 years, okay, the person goes towards the old age. Okay, goes towards the old age, where again it is going back towards infancy. Okay, you would have heard many a times that when the old age comes, okay, the old age persons, our grandmother, grandfather, they behave a bit kind of infants. They become moody, then they are not able to walk properly, they are not able to sit properly. Okay, all these problems they face, and again they just go towards the end of their phase of life. So this is the stages of life. Yeah, each and every phase is an important part, and here we will deal with the adolescence part, because I said this is the most important and the turning point of a human being's life. So in this chapter we will deal with adolescence. Okay, the period of adolescence. This is the period of a human being's life from being a child to adult. Clear? From completing the childhood and to entering the adulthood. This phase is called adolescence age. In this age, neither the person can be called a child nor he can called as adult. Clear? Another name for adolescence is the teenage. T-E-E-N-A-G-E. Teen age. Clear? And you may wonder that earlier I told you it is 13 to 19 years, and here I have written 11 to 19 years. I have written 11 to 19 years because since 11 years only the phase of adolescence kick starts. Means the child is going towards the adolescence, and that's why we can say that adolescence starts around the age of 11 and lasts up to 18 to 19 years. That is correct. And the teenage period, which is from 13 to 19 years mostly. So this complete period of 13 to 19 years is covered under adolescence. And two terms, adolescents and teenagers. Okay. Now who are adolescents? The boys and girls. Okay, the boys and girls who are passing through the age of adolescence are called adolescents. Clear? And these adolescents are also known as teenagers. These adolescents are also known as teenagers. Clear? Between the age of 13 to 19 years, the child is called as teenagers or adolescents. Clear? Now, one term comes puberty. P-U-B-E-R-T-Y. Okay, puberty. Now, what is puberty? It is the stage in human's life where a human being attains maturity. Okay, attains maturity. Maturity physically, maturity emotionally, and maturity mentally. Okay, complete maturity. Here the maturity, the person starts being mature. Okay, starts being mature. That is known as puberty. And this puberty also marks the beginning of the reproductive phase in humans. Means from the start of puberty, the reproduction process, okay, starts in the human beings. Yeah? And in boys it is 11 to 16 years in boys, and in girls it is 10 to 15 years. This is the period of puberty in boys and girls. Yeah? And what happens is puberty starts in the age of 10 years in girls and 11 years in boys. Then it is varying. Clear? It is depending upon the person's emotional status, person's physical status and everything, that how much it will continue. Either it is continuing till late, or it is stopping just before. So all this thing depend on the person's health. Then there are many changes. Clear? There are many changes that occur during the puberty. Now we will see what are those changes. Before starting the changes during puberty, let me tell you one thing. When we see this kind of chapters in the textbook, clear? Especially in your age, when we are about to study these chapters, there is a kind of shyness and there is a kind of means something if and no types. Okay, if and buts, that how we will face it, how we will study. Okay, then there is a kind of uncomfortability in boys and girls. Okay, so let me tell you one thing, that this is a part of life. Clear? This is nothing to be shied for, and there is nothing to make fun of. Okay, there is nothing which is not being faced by us. Okay, this is a part of life and this happens. So we are studying what already happens. So there is a fact and there is a saying that we should learn everything in life and we should not look back for, so that we will not regret in future to look back at things that something was there which we missed. So we should know each and everything. In this era of 21st century, we human beings should know everything. Nowadays, no ways doctors are important. Yeah. But in this era of 21st century, there are some general things which every human being should know. That is the fact showing that you are literate. That is the fact showing you that you are educated. So those are the things which we should know. Clear? So after studying or while studying, don't just miss out things just because you are shy to study, or don't make fun of each other. The most common thing that happens. Okay, there is nothing to make fun of each other and creating an embarrassing situation. Yeah, these all things are happening. Not with me, not with you. Every human being on earth is facing all these things. Clear? So I hope you will cooperate and you will study it nicely, and this will surely help you in your personal life and your coming future life also. Clear? Okay. So let's start. Changes during puberty. First, change in the body shape. Clear? The most noticeable thing, change in the body shape. You may have noticed in boys, the shoulders become broader and the chest becomes wider. Yeah, in boys. Then the muscles also develop. Yeah, muscles also develop very thin, and a non-handsome boy, unhandsome boy becomes a very handsome young man. How? The shoulders become broader, the chest becomes wider, yeah, muscles become stronger. So all these are the proofs that is telling that yes, the person is undergoing the puberty stage. Clear? Then in girls, waistline, okay, means downward portion of girls, that becomes wider again. Then pelvic region becomes broader. Then development of breast. So all these are some of the changes that take place in the shape of the body of human beings. Second is increase in height. Yeah? You may have noticed that when we are in our childhood stage, we grow slowly, slowly, slowly. Suddenly when we reach to adulthood, when we become teens, our height suddenly grows. Yeah, suddenly grows, and then it stops at a particular time. Okay? After 17 to 18 years, our height stops growing. Clear? So that is also during the period of adolescence when our height increases. Okay, of both girls and boys. And normally girls are a bit shorter than the boys. Yeah, you may have watched many uncle and aunties, then your mother and father. Among them, who is elder, means who is looking elder in height? Obviously father looks little up. Okay, so that is the thing, that the increase of height in males is more than in females. Clear? Then change in voice. Change in voice. Now, when we see, suddenly our voice also changes. Yeah. There is a far difference between the voice of a small child and an adolescent. Clear? What happens here is, in boys, especially in boys, there is a voice box. Okay, in the last chapter we have went through the voice box and the larynx. So that begins to grow. The voice box begins to grow in boys. Okay, and the larynx protrudes out. You can have this as a very clear picture. You just try to touch your neck from the middle part. What you can see? You can see a protruded out structure, okay, hard muscle that has come out a bit. Clear? That is called larynx, protruding out of the larynx. Clear? And that region which protrudes out is known as Adam's apple. Okay, it is present only in boys. It is called Adam's apple. And due to this large voice boxes, what happens? Boys develop a deep voice. Okay, boys are having a very deep voice due to the larger voice boxes. But girls are having the high pitched voice. Okay, girls are having the high pitched voice, and that is also the reason that the voice of girls is more sweeter, okay, in comparison to boys. That is because of the voice box difference. Clear? Then what happens is, the larynx and the change in size of the larynx may cause the boy's voice to crack. But after some time it becomes normal. After some time it may become normal. Okay. So that is about voice. Then activity of sweat. Clear? Now your sweat glands. The name of sweat glands in your body is sebaceous glands. Okay. The activity of sebaceous glands increases during puberty. And increase of activity of sebaceous glands means more production of sweat and more production of oil, and this leads to the characteristic body odor, and too much oil causes the acne or the pimples on the face. Okay, especially in this period, the teenagers cause pimples and acne on their face due to the large production of oil and due to the large production of sweat. Yeah. Then development of sex organs. Development of sex organs. You have studied the reproduction chapter and you know that the male reproductive organ is testes and the female reproductive organ is ovaries. So at this period of adolescence, the testes and ovaries will mature. Okay? They will become larger in size and they will mature. And when they will mature, what will happen? The girls, okay, the ovary in girls will mature and start releasing the egg. Okay, and start releasing the egg, that is known as ovum. The function of testes is to secrete sperm. The function of ovary is to secrete or release ovum. So now ovaries will start secreting ovum. And the males, okay, testes will start producing sperms. Now here the production of male and female gametes starts. Clear? Then next, changes in behavior and attitude. Changes in behavior and attitude. This is a very important factor. Clear? When the person reaches to a stage of adolescence, okay, suddenly his way of thinking changes. Okay, suddenly his way of thinking changes. His mental and physical changes may cause his mood swings. Okay, the teenagers have so much of mood swings. Okay, now they want something else, after some time they want something else. So like that their mood changes very abnormally. Clear? Then here some intellectual development, means brain development also takes place. And sometimes adolescents may feel insecure. Okay, insecure. Insecure means, see, there are many changes going on in the teenager's body. Either it is a development of sex organs, or it is change in voice, or it is acne or pimple problem, or it is the body shape problem, or the body odor problem. All these are some of the things which make the adolescents uncomfortable. Okay, and let them think more and more. And that's why what happens is, at this age, at this time, sexual maturity also starts. And this is the time when the opposite sexes attract each other. Clear? So there are many changes taking place in the body. And the problem is they don't understand that time. Clear? They don't understand that time. So that is the main problem. Lack of understanding. And then they become self-conscious. Okay. Till when we are child, we never bother that what we are wearing, how we are going out, how our hairstyle is, and how our face looks. We don't bother. But as soon as we come to the teenage life, okay, this all small things start bothering us. Okay, so this is a kind of changes in behavior, attitude, and also the emotional maturity. Then comes the development of secondary sexual characters. Now what is secondary sexual characters? See, at puberty the reproductive organs become fully functional. That is true. Yeah, they produce gametes, means sperm and ova. Both are produced, sperm by testes and ovum by ovaries. Then what happens? There are certain characters in the body. First sexual character is the production of gamete. Secondary sexual character means there are some characters in individuals that develop at puberty and help us to distinguish between the male and female. Okay, distinguish between the male and female means those characters which tell us that this is the character of a male and this is the character of a female. Like development of breast in females, development of moustache. What is moustache? Dadhi, mooch in Hindi. So development of moustaches, growth of hair, moustaches, beards are the things that are happening as sexual characters, secondary sexual characters. Then facial hair growth, then hair growth in the armpits, okay, in your armpits. Then these are something which are called as the secondary sexual characters, means the characters which help us distinguish between a male and a female. Those are the secondary sexual characters. So these were some of the changes that take place during the puberty. See, this is the diagram for the Adam's apple in the boys. In the neck region, you can see the Adam's apple, some protruded region. Clear? That protruded region becomes larger in the boys, and that's why their voice is a kind of different. Clear? So this is called Adam's apple. Okay, this is called Adam's apple.
Changes at puberty. Increase in height. The most conspicuous change during puberty is the sudden increase in height. At this time, the long bones, that is the bones of the arms and the legs, elongate and make a person tall. The following chart gives the average rate of growth in height of boys and girls with age. Calculation for full height in centimeters. Present height in centimeters divided by percentage of full height at this age multiplied by 100 as given in the chart. Example, a boy is 9 years old and 120 centimeters tall. At the end of the growth period, he is likely to be 120 by 75 multiplied by 100 centimeters equal to 160 centimeters tall. Initially, girls grow faster than boys, but by about 18 years of age, both reach their maximum height. The rate of growth in height varies in different individuals. Some may grow suddenly at puberty and then slow down, while others may grow gradually. All parts of the body do not grow at the same rate. Sometimes the arms and legs or hands and feet of adolescents look oversized and out of proportion with the body. But soon the other parts catch up and result in a proportionate body. You must have noticed that height of an individual is more or less similar to that of some family member. This is because height depends on the genes inherited from parents. It is, however, very important to eat the right kind of food during these growing years. Change in body shape. Have you noticed that boys in your class have broader shoulders and wider chests than boys in junior classes? This is because they have entered the age of puberty when shoulders generally broaden as a result of growth. In girls, the region below the waist becomes wider. In boys, the muscles of the body grow more prominently than in the girls. Thus, changes occurring in adolescent boys and girls are different. Change. Did you notice that sometimes the voice of some of the boys in your class cracks? At puberty, the voice box or the larynx begins to grow. Boys develop larger voice boxes. The growing voice box in boys can be seen as a protruding part of the throat called Adam's apple. In girls, the larynx is hardly visible from the outside because of its small size. Generally, girls have a high-pitched voice, whereas boys have a deep voice. In adolescent boys, sometimes the muscles of the growing voice box go out of control and the voice becomes hoarse. This state may remain for a few days or weeks, after which the voice becomes normal. Increased activity of sweat and sebaceous glands. During puberty, the secretion of sweat glands and sebaceous glands, that is oil glands, increases. Many young people get acne and pimples on the face at this time because of the increased activity of these glands in the skin. Reaching mental, intellectual and emotional maturity. Adolescence is also a period of change in a person's way of thinking. Adolescents are more independent than before and are also self-conscious. Intellectual development takes place and they tend to spend considerable time thinking. In fact, it is often the time in one's life when the brain has the greatest capacity for learning. Sometimes, however, an adolescent may feel insecure while trying to adjust to the changes in the body and mind. But as adolescent learners, you should know that there is no reason to feel insecure. These changes are a natural part of growing up. Development of sex organs. At puberty, male sex organs like the testes and the penis develop completely. The testes also begin to produce sperms. In girls, the ovaries enlarge and eggs begin to mature. Also, ovaries start releasing mature eggs.
So, next topic is role of hormones and the endocrine system. Role of hormones and the endocrine system. See students, hormones are very important substances that are being secreted in our body, and they play the utmost important role in the reproduction period or reproduction phase of human beings. Clear? Whatever changes we have seen here, till now during puberty or any other changes, all these changes that is taking place in our body are controlled by hormones. Hormones are the controller of all these changes. Clear? And what are hormones? Okay. So hormones are the chemical substances which are produced by the endocrine glands. There are glands in our body known as endocrine glands. Okay. And these glands are the ductless glands. Means they don't have any pipeline or they don't have any system to move from here and there. And so like in oviduct, we were having sperm duct and oviduct, where sperm duct was carrying the sperms to the penis, then oviduct was taking the ovum. So we don't have anything here. Okay, this endocrine glands are the ductless gland. They are not having any system for the movement. So what happens? This endocrine glands directly release the hormones in the blood. Okay, they directly release the hormones in the blood, and when they release the hormones in the blood, that hormones reach a particular body part where it is needed. Okay, and the body part which is responded by the hormone is called target site. Means there are some target sites in the body for hormones. As soon as the hormone is released into the blood, it reaches the target site. Okay, and then the target site will attract the hormone, and hormone will go there through blood and carry out its function. Clear? Then there are two types of sex hormones. Clear? One is the testosterone and other is the estrogen. Clear? Testosterone is secreted by the testes in males, and estrogen is secreted by the females by ovaries in females. Clear? Then this testosterone hormones, okay, this is responsible for the development of sperms and also the secondary sexual characters in males, like growth of facial hair, then beards, moustaches, etc. All the secondary characters are also because of testosterone hormone. Clear? Then comes the females. In females, estrogen is produced, and this estrogen, okay, this estrogen leads to the development of the mature ova and breast, okay, in breast in females. Clear? Sorry. And this estrogen only produces or secretes the milk secreting glands. Clear? That is called the mammary glands. mammary, mammary glands. That's why the mother is able to feed her child with milk, because in the body of females there is a gland known as mammary gland where the milk is secreted. Clear? So this is about hormones that are called the sex hormones. Now one more gland that is a type of endocrine gland is the pituitary gland. Now what is pituitary gland? This pituitary gland is the master gland of the human's body. How it is called master gland? It is considered as the master gland because it is the hormone, okay, it is the gland which controls the secretion of hormones. Yeah, and it controls that how much hormone will be released or how much hormone will be secreted, then which hormone will do how much function. All these things are controlled by the pituitary gland, and that's why pituitary gland is called the master gland of the body. So in a way we can say that the onset of puberty in humans, in boys and girls, are controlled by hormones. So hormones are a very important role players in the human body from the onset of puberty and for the changes that are occurring in the human body. Clear? See students, this flow chart is showing the role of hormones, that how they play in the body, what roles they play and how they react. See, from what happens is the hormones from the pituitary, okay, pituitary stimulate the testes and ovaries. Yeah, as pituitary gland is the master gland, so it will only give orders, okay, and it will only control that how and when the hormones will be released. So it stimulates the testes and ovaries so that they could release the testosterone and the estrogen hormone. Then when on its stimulation, the hormones of testes and ovaries are released in the bloodstream. Okay, and as they are released in the bloodstream, then they reach to different parts of the body called target sites. Okay, and then after reaching on the target site, they stimulate all the changes in the body and they recreate the onset of puberty in human beings. So this is what the role of hormones in the human body. Now next one, reproductive phase. Now what is reproductive phase? The phase in boys and girls or in human beings when the testes, that is the male sex organ, and the ovaries, which is the female sex organ, start producing the gametes, that is sperm and ovum. That is known as the reproductive phase in humans. Reproductive phase in humans. And mostly it is longer in males, okay, and it is shorter in females. Not very shorter, but in comparison, when we compare the male and female, then we can say that it is shorter in females and longer in males. Okay, and in males it starts with puberty and it lasts lifelong. Okay, lifelong the reproductive phase goes on in males. Clear? But in females, at some stage, at some point of life, it stops. Now, under reproductive phase in females, okay, under reproductive phase in females, there is an important part of reproductive phase. Clear? And that is known as menstrual cycle. That is known as menstrual cycle. It is the start of reproductive phase, means when the cycle of menstruation starts, then we say that puberty in girls have started. Clear? It starts at the age of 10 to 12 years and it lasts at the age of 45 to 50 years. Clear? Means this is the period of the reproductive phase in females. Means from 10 to 12 years to 45 to 50 years. Only this much is the reproductive phase of females. Clear? Now what happens in this cycle? Let's see what happens in this cycle. See, first, as we know, reproductive phase started means the organs become enlarged. So here the reproductive organ, ovary, becomes enlarged. When it becomes enlarged, means it is completely matured. And if it is matured, it will start doing its duty, that is the production of the male-female gamete, that is ova, or we can say ovum. When this ova becomes mature, okay, when this ova becomes mature, and it generally matures in 28 days. It takes 28 days to mature. And after 28 days, this ova is released. Clear? This ova is released from the ovary. Clear? This ova is released from the ovary after 28 days. Means every month after 28 days. Clear? After 28 days, the cycle restarts and this ova is released. And this process of releasing of ova in every 28 days is termed as ovulation. The process of ovulation. Now, what happens in this ovulation process? Due to this ovulation process, the uterus means this is also part of female reproductive system. This uterus wall becomes thick. Clear? The wall of uterus becomes thick. Why? There are two chances. Clear? There are two chances. One chance of fertilization occurrence and other chance of no fertilization. Clear? When the uterus wall becomes thick after release of ova, there are two chances. First, if there is a fertilization occurring. Clear? If this released ova matches up or mixes with the male gamete, that is sperm, and fusion occurs, in that case this will lead to pregnancy. Clear? This will lead to pregnancy, and this pregnancy is the reason why uterus wall becomes thick, so that the baby or the fetus can be easily be carried in the uterus. Clear? That is the reason it becomes thick. So that is the chance of pregnancy. But second chance is the ovum will shed off. If there is no fertilization, no mating with the male gamete sperm, then what will happen? This ovum will shed off. Clear? This ovum will shed off itself, and by then this ovum sheds off itself. Shedding off means coming out of the body. Clear? And with ovum, the uterus lining, which was already become thick, that lining also disrupts and it comes out with ovum. Clear? Ovum plus the uterus thick wall, plus with that the unrelated blood vessels also get disrupted. These three things together come out of the body. Clear? And that results in the bleeding. Clear? That results in the bleeding. Clear? Blood coming out of the body. And that blood is nothing but the released ovum and the uterus lining and the blood vessel. And that is coming out from the body as a waste. And it continues till 3 to 7 days. It depends upon the health of the body, that how it is. And with that, it somewhere in some females it is for 3 to 4 days. In some it is 5 to 6 days. And some may even last to 7 days. Clear? So that is what about menstrual cycle. This is the menstrual cycle from the production of ova to release of or shedding of the ova from the body in the form of blood. That is called menstrual cycle. And the bleeding, okay, the bleeding that occurs from the body is called menstrual flow. It's called menstrual flow. Clear? So menstrual flow, then menstrual cycle. These are some of the terms which you should remember. And then the menstruation. Here, menstruation. And this is a kind of reproductive health also. This is a time period in the females where they need to be more overconscious, okay, about their health. They should eat good, they should take proper rest, because at this time of menstrual cycle, their body is undergoing a lot of changes, clear, undergoing a lot of changes, and for which they need energy, okay. And to put themselves in a good condition, they should have proper food, proper rest and everything, and also they should take care of the cleanliness, clear. So that's all about menstrual cycle. Now two terms under this are menarche and menopause. One is menarche and other is menopause. Menarche means the beginning of menstrual flow, or the beginning of menstrual cycle in the female, that is called menarche, and the ending at the age of 45 to 50 years, that age is called menopause, okay. And menopause also marks the end of the reproductive phase in females. So this is about reproductive phase of life in humans. Then next we will see
By now, we are aware of almost all the changes that occur during puberty in both boys and girls. So, can you tell me which is the most important of all changes? Yes, it is the development of reproductive organs. The stage of sexual maturity is what defines puberty in true sense. And what do we mean by this? This means that the individual is now physically capable of reproduction. So, are we saying that both males and females are capable of reproduction with the onset of puberty? Absolutely. And that would mean that they can reproduce anytime throughout their life, right? Absolutely not. Why not? The basic reason for this is that the case of males and females is different when it comes to the reproductive span. And why is this different? This is what we need to answer in this video that deals with the concept of reproductive phase. Now, what exactly do we mean by this? Let us understand the two words. Reproductive here means the process of reproduction, and phase means the time period. So, are we saying that individuals are capable of reproduction only for some period of time? Yes, and this is applicable only in the case of females. But why so? Let me explain. In case of males, development of testes causes production of gametes, that is sperms. And this process, once started, does not terminate throughout the male's life. Only the sperms produced can decrease in count with age. However, the ability to reproduce still remains the same. But the case of females is completely different. Females cannot reproduce throughout their lives. This term, reproductive phase, holds true in their case. And why is it so? Well, the simplest answer to this question is the process of ovulation. That's right. Now, can you guess from the name what is ovulation? It is the process of release of ova from the ovaries. Now, you may wonder how the process can be an answer to this question. It's simple. We know that reproduction requires an egg cell as the female gamete. And if ovulation is the release of egg cells, then that means reproduction will be possible only when egg cells are released. But did you know that in every individual female, the number of egg follicles in the ovaries is fixed? That means the ovaries will have fixed number of immature egg cells stored inside them since the beginning. However, only on the onset of puberty, the egg cells are released one after the other. So don't you think the capacity of reproduction will begin when the first egg cell will be released by the ovary? Yes, and it will obviously stop when the number of egg cells will come to an end. This phase is nothing but the reproductive phase in females. The beginning and the end of this important phase are given scientific names. The commencing point is called as menarche. So can we say a girl experiences menarche when she steps into puberty? Yes, and the occurrence differs from one female to the other. However, the average age range to expect menarche is around 12 to 14 years. Also, the time when it terminates is called menopause. This time is also different in females, but the average period of age is between 45 to 50 years. Let us just imagine that one of the ovaries has released an egg cell. It goes straight to the fallopian tube and then moves further. Now, if this egg gets fertilized, then the fetus will need a proper location for placental attachment, right? For this, a proper thick cushion layer made up of cells needs to be formed inside the uterus. We know that this layer is called the endometrium. But how will the reproductive tract know whether fertilization is going to occur or not? How will it form the endometrium all of a sudden if fertilization occurs? The natural tendency of our body is to be prepared for every possibility. So in this case too, our body makes the necessary preparations. When the ovum is released from either of the ovaries, many hormones work in coordination to get the endometrial layer ready. In case fertilization occurs, the fetus will have a proper location for placental attachment. Wait a second. We said if fertilization occurs. What if it doesn't? In that case, the ovum will come out of the body through the vagina. And what will happen to the endometrium? Astonishingly, the layer also collapses and gets out of the body through the vagina. As a result of this, for almost 4 to 5 days every month, a female experiences a bleeding phase. The bleeding is through the vagina and it contains the unfertilized ovum, the cells of endometrium and the blood, of course. This is called as the menstrual fluid. And the process is referred to as menstruation. Did you notice I mentioned that the bleeding phase is for 4 to 5 days every month? Why did I say every month? That is because the entire process occurs in a cyclic manner that lasts for 28 to 30 days. The ovulation and building up of the endometrium and then followed by this will be collapsing of endometrium in case fertilization does not occur. This will give rise to the discharge of the menstrual fluid through the vagina. Don't you think this entire cycle will also have a scientific name? Of course, it's called the menstrual cycle. So the menstrual cycle is almost a 28 to 30 day cycle, out of which the bleeding phase lasts for 4 to 5 days. In a nutshell, the reproductive ability is obtained by individuals with the onset of puberty. In males, it lasts till they're alive. However, in females, the reproductive phase is marked by the menarche and concluded by the menopause. The time period in between is where the body undergoes the menstrual cycle. The reproductive capacity of females is only found during this phase. So we have talked about the process that happens when fertilization does not take place. But what if fertilization occurs? Do we know whether it'll be a boy or a girl? Let us learn about the concept of sex determination in the next video.
Now, the next topic is determination of sex of the baby. Now, what is determination of sex? How the sex of the baby is determined? See, we all know that how an individual is formed. The sperm from the male and ovum from the female, they fuse together, that is the process of fertilization occurs and the formation of zygote takes place. Zygote becomes embryo, embryo becomes fetus and fetus becomes the new individual. Clear? Now, the basic genetic part of the sperm and ovum is all the human beings have 23 pairs of chromosome. Now, what is chromosome? It is the genetic material that forms the DNA. Clear? That forms the DNA. Genetic material. All the characteristics of a human being. Okay. That how he looks, then how his hairs are, then how his ears are, how he speaks. Everything is considered to be the part of genetic material. Means part of chromosome. Clear? So, our body, human beings have 23 pairs of chromosomes. Clear? And out of that 23 pairs, means total 46 chromosomes, 23 pairs and 46 chromosome. Number of chromosome is 46. So, one chromosome, the 1/23rd pair of chromosome in the male and female determines the sex chromosome. Sex chromosome. Clear? In males it is XY. Clear? In males it is XY and in females it is XX. In females it is XX. Now when the sperm and ovum are mating, when they are fusing together during the process of fertilization, what happens? The sperm will give its chromosomes as X and Y. Sperm will be having XY chromosome and the ovum will be having XX chromosome. So there is a chance that this X chromosome of the sperm will go and fuse with the X of female. Clear? In that case, the zygote formed will be having XX type of chromosome. XX. And XX means the female baby. Clear? Then, if the Y part of the sperm goes and fuses with the X part, then the formation of zygote will be having XY. And this XY means the male baby. Clear? So, in a way, we can say that the sex chromosome of the father determines the baby born will be a baby girl or will be a baby boy. There are many myths, okay, especially in village areas or in the societies where the people are not literate or not educated. What happens? There are many myths regarding the saying that the women is being criticized for giving the birth to a girl. Clear? But they should be told, they should have the idea, they should have the knowledge of these all things so that the position of women in the society gets improved. Clear? So actually the father's chromosome is responsible for the sex of the baby, of being a male or a female. Clear? It is not the women's fate or it is not the deeds of the women that makes the baby to be a boy or girl, but it is the father's chromosome. Ultimately, we can say that fathers are responsible for the sex of the baby, not the mothers, because mother is having XX only. Okay, mother is having XX, the father is having XY. So it depends on the father that father's X chromosome goes and fuses with the female X or Y chromosome. Okay, and then the sex of the baby is being started. So this is about determination of sex. See, this is how the sex determination is done. Male, then female. Okay, male and female. From male, sperms are produced. From female, ovum is produced. Sperm, one is having X, other is having Y. Clear? Female, both are having X. Sorry, ovum is having the X chromosome only. Clear? Means XX chromosome. Then, this sperms that are 2 in number, X and Y, either of the chromosome will go and fuse with the ovum. Clear? If X goes and fuses with the ovum, see, X, formation of a baby girl. And if the Y chromosome of the male goes and fuses with the ovum, then it is the formation of a baby boy. So this is about the sex determination. And the determination of the sex of the baby before birth is also a crime nowadays. Okay, with a very illegal technique it is being done in some parts of the country, but it is strictly prohibited. Why? Because many of the people, okay, Those who don't care or those who don't make a difference between a boy and a girl, they will never go for sex determination. They are okay with both the childs, either it is male or it is female. But some parts of the society consider the birth of a girl child as a sin. And that's why they want only the boy child to be born. So that's why they want to know that the unborn child is a baby girl or it is a baby boy. And if they come to know that it is a baby girl, they just go for abortions or they go for killing the unborn child or killing the fetus. That's also considered as a crime, and that's why the this sex determination is strictly prohibited. Clear? And there are many processes, okay, many techniques by which it can be done, like amniocentesis is there. Then many other techniques are being finalized for the determination of sex, but all those techniques are strictly prohibited.
Sex determination. Did you know that nearly all tortoiseshell cats are female? We'll find out why later. In this video, we are going to discover how sex is determined. Human body cells have 46 chromosomes arranged in 23 pairs. There are 22 pairs of autosomes and 1 pair of sex chromosomes or allosomes. For a male, the sex chromosomes are usually XY, whilst for a female, they are XX. To make a baby, a sperm has to join with an ovum or an egg cell. We looked at sperm and egg cells in detail in this video. You should know that they only have half of the DNA of a body cell. They are haploid. Instead of 46 chromosomes, so 23 pairs, they just have 23 chromosomes in total. 22 autosomes and 1 sex chromosome or allosome. An ovum will always have an X chromosome, but the sperm will have an X or a Y. If we looked at this in a Punnett square, the gametes from the female would always be X, so XX, and the gametes from the male would be either X or Y. Can you complete the Punnett square to show the probability of having a male or a female child? Pause the video, complete the Punnett square and click play when you're ready to check. Did you get it right? So the X from the ovum and the X from the sperm would produce a female baby. And the X from the ovum and the Y from the sperm would give us a male child. So really, it is the man who determines the gender of the child. He brings the Y, which is the only chance of a male child. Unfortunately for Anne Boleyn, a wife of King Henry VIII of England in the 16th century, she was executed for not providing a male heir to the throne when really his sperm were to blame. From the Punnett square, we would expect 50% of the offspring to be male and 50% to be female, but the actual outcomes may be different. One couple could, for example, end up with 4 girls. Discounting social factors such as sex-selective abortions, at birth, the natural male to female sex ratio for humans is about 105 males to 100 females. It is thought that this is nature's way of overcoming the fact that males have a higher risk of dying younger than females. The overall world male to female sex ratio drops down from 101 males to every 100 females, so it is closer to the expected 50% of each. Now let's get back to our cat. Most tortoiseshell cats are female because this fur color is a characteristic found on the X chromosome, but males have 1 X chromosome. So why can't males be tortoiseshell? For a tortoiseshell cat, 2 X chromosomes are needed to show the 3 different colors. So as females have XX sex chromosomes, they can be tortoiseshell, but XY males can't. Now I say most rather than all because you can occasionally get a male tortoiseshell cat, just like you can occasionally get a human man with XX chromosomes. These rare individuals have an extra strand of DNA and so are XXY rather than just XY. So the male has the double X's needed to be tortoiseshell. There are other rare chromosomal disorders that mean you can have XX human males and XY females, or Turner syndrome, when one sex chromosome is present, a solitary X. XYY and XXYY are two more syndromes, and there are many others. From this video, you should know that females usually have XX sex chromosomes and males usually have XY. The father provides the Y chromosome, and so the chance of having a male child falls on his shoulders.
If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Comment below if you have any questions. Why not check out our FuSchool app as well? Until next time.
Next topic under this chapter is hormones. Yeah. We have already studied about two types of sex hormones, that is testosterone and the estrogen hormone. That is only the sex hormone. And other than these sex hormone, there are many other hormones in the body which are also controlled by the pituitary glands and secreted by the endocrine glands of the body. Clear? Which somehow help in the process of changes during adolescence. Clear? Other than sex hormones, there are many other types of hormones. Clear? So, first hormone under this category is the thyroxine hormone. Clear? The name of the hormone is thyroxine hormone, and this hormone is secreted by the thyroid glands of the body. Clear? Thyroid glands of the body. Thyroid glands are another type of endocrine glands. Clear? Another type of endocrine glands, and that secrete the thyroxine hormone. Now, what is the use of thyroxine hormone? Thyroxine hormone regulates the growth. Okay? Growth of the physical body parts. Okay? Growth of height. Then growth of other characters. So, for this, yeah, thyroxine hormone is important, and this has to be secreted in the body. And for secretion of the thyroxine hormone in the body requires a sufficient amount of iodine. Clear? And that iodine we get from the salt we eat. Okay? The salt we eat in our food diet contains some amount of iodine, and that iodine helps in the formation of thyroxine hormone in the body. Clear? And if there is a lack of iodine in the body, okay, if there is a lack of iodine in the body for some reasons, then what will happen? There will be a condition called goiter. Okay? There will be a condition called goiter, means the swelling of the thyroid gland, and thyroid gland is present in the throat region. So, swelling of the thyroid gland will result due to lack of iodine. Clear? And this condition of swelling is called goiter. G-O-I-T-R-E, goiter. Clear? So, this is about thyroxine hormone. Now, the second hormone will be, the second type of hormone in the body is insulin hormone. Clear? Insulin hormone is the second type of hormone which is secreted by the endocrine glands called pancreas. Clear? It is secreted by the endocrine glands which is known as pancreas, and this pancreas are present in the stomach part. Okay, it is present in the stomach area, and these hormones, insulin hormones, are responsible for maintaining the blood sugar level of the body. They are responsible for maintaining the blood sugar level of the body, and by this our sugar is controlled. Okay, the body needs sugar. Our body needs carbohydrate, which we are getting from the sugar-rich foods we take. Clear? So, insulin makes sure that the sugar level neither becomes very low nor becomes very high. And if the insulin is not secreted in a proper manner, then it leads to diabetes. You are very familiar with the term diabetes. Diabetes is the condition where the patient's sugar level is increased so much. Clear? So diabetes, and for the treatment of diabetes or for the control of diabetes, insulin injections are being given to the diabetic patients. Clear? So this is insulin hormone. Now the third very important hormone is the adrenaline hormone, and this is secreted by the adrenaline glands. Clear? Adrenal gland. This is secreted by the adrenal glands, and this adrenal glands are present in the top portion of the kidney. It is a cap-like structure present on the kidneys, and this hormone is important for adjusting the stressful conditions. Suddenly, for some reasons, especially the teenagers, they face so many depression problems. They overthink on matters, and this causes them to overthink, and this creates stressful conditions for them. Clear? So this hormone secretes itself, and this secretion of hormone adjusts those stressful conditions and keep us away from depression. Clear? And that's why known as the emergency hormone. Adrenaline hormones are called the emergency hormones, because we don't know when we are going to take a stress. It is a very sudden thing. So this hormone reacts suddenly. As soon as the stress arises, this hormone is secreted, and if it is not secreted properly, the person leads to higher depressions. Clear? So this is about adrenaline hormone. So three types of hormone are there: adrenaline hormone by adrenal gland, insulin hormone by pancreas, and other one thyroxine hormone by thyroid glands. These are the hormones that help. Then comes the pituitary gland. Pituitary gland, as we know, it is the master gland of the brain, and it is present at the base of the brain. And it is responsible for controlling all the other glands. This pituitary gland is the controller of adrenal gland, thyroid gland, testes, ovaries, adrenal gland, etc. Clear? And pituitary also secretes a growth hormone. Clear? A growth hormone which is responsible for the normal growth of a person, mentally, physically. So that is the pituitary gland. These are some of the hormones which you should remember. Then one more topic comes: role of hormones in the metamorphosis process. Now what is metamorphosis? In the reproduction chapter, you have studied about the life cycle of a frog. Clear? There the term came metamorphosis. Clear? Means the larva, the frog, the insect, they change into an adult by passing through certain stages, and this process is called metamorphosis. Clear? This process is also covered by the hormones. Clear? Hormones play important role in completing the life cycle of insects and frogs. What happens? In insects, metamorphosis is controlled by the insect hormones. In frog, it is controlled by the thyroxine hormone, again secreted by thyroid glands. And presence of iodine is the must, as we have studied in thyroxine hormone. And the tadpoles cannot become the adults if the water in which they are growing does not contain iodine. See, if the water will not be having proper iodine, the tadpole will never grow into a frog. So they need iodine. Why they need iodine? Because iodine will help in the secretion of thyroxine hormone. So ultimately, hormones play important role in the life cycle of insects and frogs, and in the metamorphosis process. Clear? So this is about hormones. See the structure of these hormones. First one is the thyroxine hormone. First one is the thyroxine hormone secreted by the secreted by the thyroid gland. You can see the structure how it is. It is present in the throat region. Clear? This is the larynx. Then here the lobe of thyroid gland. Here it is the lobe of thyroid gland, and here is the trachea, that is windpipe, and here in the between the thyroxine hormone is secreted. Then the second structure is of the insulin hormone. This is secreted in the stomach by the pancreas. See the pancreas. Then you can see this duct-like structure. This is the liver. So here in the stomach, this insulin hormone is secreted. This is the structure of pancreas. Clear? Pancreas. This is the structure of thyroid gland. This is pancreas. And the third one, adrenal gland. See, cap-like structure on the kidney is called adrenal gland. And here the adrenaline hormone is secreted. Clear? So this is the structure of the endocrine glands.
The table shows age in years, percentage of height of boys and girls. To calculate full height, we can apply the following formula. Present height in centimeters upon percentage of full height at this age multiplied by 100. Changes in body shape. Boys after reaching puberty have broader shoulders and wider chests than boys of age 5 to 8. In boys, the muscles of the body grow more prominently than girls. Thus, changes occurring in adolescent boys and girls are different. During puberty, the secretion of sweat gland and sebaceous gland increases. Thus, many young people get acne and pimples on the face at this time. Change in voice. At puberty, the voice box or the larynx begins to grow. Boys develop larger voice box than girls. The larger voice box in boys can be seen as a protruding part of the throat called Adam's apple. In girls, the larynx is hardly visible. Girls have a high-pitched voice, whereas boys have a deep voice. Hormonal control. Pituitary gland is called as master gland as it controls the hormones of many other endocrine glands. Hormones from pituitary stimulates testes and ovaries to release testosterone in males and estrogen in females. These hormones are directly released into the bloodstream and reach the target site of the body. As these are male and female hormones, they stimulate changes in the body at the onset of puberty.
Reproductive phase of life. During adolescence, the testes and ovaries begin to produce the male and female gametes respectively. The male gametes are called sperms and the female gametes are called ova. In females, the reproductive phase of life begins at 10 to 12 years of age. This is marked by the onset of menstrual cycle or menarche. The matured ovum is released by ovaries once in every 28 to 30 days. During this period, the uterine walls become thick. If fertilization does not occur, the ovum is released along with the thickened lining of the uterus. This causes bleeding, which is known as the menstruation cycle. At 45 to 50 years of age, the menstrual cycle stops. The stoppage of menstruation cycle is termed as menopause.
Next topic is reproductive health. Now, what is health? We always say we should eat healthy foods, we should be healthy, the person is healthy, this and that. What is health actually? Just having no disease, can we say that we are healthy? No. The health is a condition of complete physical and mental well-being of a person. If a person is well, physically, mentally, emotionally, from every aspect, then we can say a person is healthy. And how a person can be healthy? By taking the proper balanced diet, by doing proper exercise, by taking proper nutrients. Clear? All these things helps the individuals to maintain a proper good health. Now, during adolescence, okay, our body makes the drastic changes during adolescence. This is the stage where we need more and more energy, where we need more and more good health, when we need more and more balanced proper diet. Clear? So during the period of adolescence, there should be a plenty of things that make a person healthy. Clear? And that is called reproductive health. Okay, reproductive health, because during this period of time the boys and girls are moving towards their adulthood. Okay, and when they are moving towards their adulthood, there are many changes occurring in their body, physically, mentally, and everything. Clear? So for that they need to be with full of energy. Okay, and that's why this health is known as reproductive health, because this is being needed in the time of reproductive phase. Clear? Then what are some of the needs? Let's see. During the adolescence, the nutritional needs of adolescents are more than any other phase or stage of life. Why? Because there is rapid physical and mental changes during this time. Clear? And adolescents need the nutrients and energy at a very rapid pace. Clear? So the diet of the adolescents should include everything: protein, vitamin, carbohydrate, fat, everything in adequate proportions. Means they need a balanced diet. Yeah, they need a balanced diet. But what happens? Mostly during the adolescent period, we are getting many of our friends. We are having our own friend circles. We like to do parties. We like to have junk foods, pizzas, burgers, and etc. This makes the adolescents weaker. Clear? Lazy, weak. Clear? So this is what the nutritional need. They need a balanced diet: milk, fruits, green vegetables, then roti, chapati, then rice. All should be included in their diet. And junk food should be more often avoided. I'm not saying that completely should not take, but should be taken very rarely. Yeah, the healthy food should be taken at this time. Then iron rich food should be taken, like meat, jaggery, then citrus fruits like amla. Okay, then green leafy vegetables, all these things. Then second is personal hygiene. We have studied that sebaceous gland activity increases and the body odor also increases during this period. So if you are not maintaining your personal hygiene, you will not have a proper friend circle, and if you will not have your circle, you will feel alone and depressed. So you should be well defined. You should be having a well defined personality with a proper maintained hygiene. Means you should take bath every day. Yeah. Then you should keep your genital areas. Yeah, genital areas very clean. You should clean it oftenly. Then you should avoid using of alcohol or all those things which make your body odor bad or something like that. Yeah. Then girls also should maintain a proper hygiene, especially during the menstrual cycle time. Okay, special care is given to the cleanliness part during menstruation. So all these things make you be healthy. Clear? Personal hygiene. Then third is the physical exercise. Now there is a very much craze of gym nowadays. Okay, gym. But what I prefer is gymming is less better than exercise. You should do proper yoga at home. Okay, you should go for jogging. Then you should walk as much you can. All these things. But what adolescents do, they will just put on the scooty, put on the bike and just roam in the road. But no, you should walk more and more. Okay, you should not let your body rest so much. Otherwise, you will become lazy. You should do more and more work. You should be active as much you can during this time. So this is what physical exercise. Then this all things make the reproductive health better. Nowadays, a very often crime topic is the drug abuse and the AIDS. Yeah, drug abuse and the AIDS. Now, what is this drug abuse? See, what happens is adolescents have a different way of thinking. They don't like the idea of parents. They don't like the idea of their family, grandparents. They just want to be in their own circle, okay, which they like. And when they are in this circle, when they feel, this is the time when the children feel, I have grown. Okay, the one line they always say, अब मैं बड़ा हो गया या अब मैं बड़ी हो गई. Clear? So this is the overconfidence in the adolescents that make them go to the wrong path. Okay, that makes them go to the wrong path. Then at this time many changes are taking place in them, either it is physically or it is mentally. So at this age of time, when they don't like the company of the family but they like the company of their friends, and because of this they may go to a wrong company. Okay, they may go to a wrong company and become used to alcohol and drugs. Alcohol and drugs. And what are these drugs? These drugs are the chemical substances that bring the physical, mental and behavioral changes. Okay, the person consuming drugs are very different from the normal persons. They may be more of rude nature. Okay, they will be a kind of lazy. Then they will be a kind of angry persons. All these are the side effects of drugs. Clear? And this use of drug for purposes other than, now drugs are used in medicines, that is a different thing. But if drug is used for other purpose other than medicine, then it is called drug abuse. Clear? That is called drug abuse. And drugs are addictive in nature. You know, the persons who are smoking, drinking, they are having a habit which is very difficult to be taken back. Clear? So this is the addictive form of drug. Drugs are very addictive in nature. And if once taken, there is a tendency that the person will have the ease of taking it again and again. Okay? And they may harm or they may ruin our health and happiness too, because of use of drug and alcohol. Many families, okay, harsh driving, drinking and driving. Clear? Many accidents take place. Then the person becomes arrogant. Due to this, he goes to depressions. All these things go on. Clear? And this is only the age. Clear? This is only the age of physical attractions from the opposite sexes between boys and girls. So this is also a condition where the person goes to depression, because this is not the age of starting or going for these all things. This is the time where you need to control yourself. You have to control your hormones. You have to control your emotions. You cannot just go behind. If you go with your emotions, if you go with your hormonal changes, that may lead to a wrong path. This is not the age, 13 to 18, 19 years. This is not the age for going for a love life or going for a relationship and all these things. Yeah, this is an age where you should take a stand, where you should control your emotions, where you should make your body react. Clear? And you should face the changes that are taking place in your body. Yeah. Otherwise, what will happen? If in this age, if you take a wrong path and if you go for a wrong company, your life will be ruined completely. Your health will be ruined completely, and even your happiness. Because when a person is addicted to drug or alcohol, he is neither getting the support from the family, neither he has friends. Clear? Friends also leave him and go. Him or her, whatever. I'm not making a difference between boys and girls, because nowadays I see girls also at many of the places, girls also having different kinds of habits. So that is a different thing. Okay, you all are good, I know. So this is called drug abuse. Clear? And a person should be away from this. Clear? Then comes the AIDS. You have learnt about AIDS. AIDS is a disease caused by the HIV virus, where the immune system goes nil. And why this AIDS take place? This takes place due to the sharing of syringes of the patients. then also through the sexual contact. As I said, this is the time when there is so much of sexual attractions or physical attractions between the opposite sexes. Okay, and this leads to many wrong steps. Okay, and when coming in sexual contact with the infected person or multiple sexual contacts. Okay, multiple sexual contacts also lead to AIDS disease. Clear? And it is caused by the HIV virus. And it is very difficult to be cured. Control is being given, but till now cure is not there. Clear? Then one more thing is there are some myths of do's and don'ts. Again, for myths like for the determination of sex of the baby, there are some myths regarding the menstrual cycle also, that the female should not be allowed to go to the temple. Okay, especially in the village areas or the area in the interior sites, there a girl should not go to the kitchen during menstruation, should not go to the temples. Okay, then mother is responsible for the sex of the baby, as they say. Then girl should not look at boys, during menstruation, otherwise she will get pregnant. All these are the myths. All these are the myths which you have to change. Clear? The new generation, coming generation has to change this. These are the thinkings of the old generation which is already passing now. We are not supposed to take those things from us to our next generation. We should change all this. We are studying this. We are having the literacy for this. Why? So that we can change the society. Okay, we are here to change the society. We should study well, we should go through everything well, so that in the future we do something for the society and ultimately do something for our country. Yeah. Then one more topic from this chapter is the last one, a very small topic, adolescent pregnancy. Okay, adolescent pregnancy. What happens is, in the earlier times, the child marriage system was being followed. Okay, the girls were being married, or girls or boys were being married in a very lower ages, 11 or 13 years something. They were being married and they were being sent to their in-laws house. And that time the girls are not physically matured. Okay, they are ready for reproduction, but they are not physically matured. Clear? And also they are not responsible in today's century. If we talk to a college girl, okay, or a college boy, even the 18-19 year girls and boys, they are not mature that much that they can take responsibility of a child, or they can take some big decisions. Clear? So in that case, when they were married at the age of 11 or 13 years, what happened? Because of lack of the maturity of their reproduction, they faced a lot of problems, lot of diseases like breast cancer, then many other diseases related to women. So all these things led to completely, we can see, the ruining of the female's life. Yeah, that's why the legal law was being out, saying that the legal age of marriage for boys is 21 years and for girls is 18 years. And now the government is working on the fact that the age of marriage should be increased again for 2 to 3 years more, because as the time is increasing, okay, we find out that even the 18 years or the 21 years is not a proper time for a girl or boy to be married. Yeah? So this is known as adolescent pregnancy. When a girl is not properly matured for reproduction. Clear? And she undergoes fertilization and formation of zygote and leading to pregnancy and the birth of a child. In that case, that type of pregnancy is called adolescent pregnancy, which is not at all a good idea. Okay, it ruins the life of the girls and boys not only, but also it is a very much harm to the society too. Yeah, so that's all about this chapter. I hope you are clear with it. If you have any kind of doubt, and if you go through the book, if you find any word or anything that is doubtful, then you can let me know. In this chapter, we studied about adolescence, stages of life, then adolescence, then the puberty, changes during puberty. Then we studied about the role of hormones, then we studied other hormones and sex hormones also. Then we studied the menstrual cycle that is coming under the reproductive phase. Then we studied the determination of sex of the baby. Yeah. Then we studied the reproductive health, under which we studied the drug abuse, okay, and AIDS. Then we studied about the myths. Then we studied about adolescent pregnancy. All these things were covered in this chapter. Clear? And hope you understood well, and I also hope that you will go through the textbook and video, and you will ask for doubts if any, and if not, you will be getting the notes, okay, with this chapter, and you have to write down those notes in your biology notebook, yeah, in a very proper and neat handwriting. And during the last copy checking, I found that many of you missed many of the things. Okay, some of you did not write the HOTS part. Yeah, some of you did not write the exercise. Yeah, so write everything in your notebook. It should be there. And complete your copies on time. And I hope you are having exams, okay, in the starting of the month. So I hope you all will do well. Yeah, and that's it. We have completed this chapter, and please go through it well. Okay, thank you. And your homework is just completion of notes in your biology notebook. Yeah, thank you. Have a very nice day. See you later.